Hello there, and welcome to another week of the Weekly Psychic Review. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, and I hope you've had a good week last week. We're doing this from the 15th of June to the 21st of June, the Monday to the Sunday. So, just to explain a little bit how I work. So, I work with my spirit guides and all those in spirit who love me. I ask them to come close and to give you what you need for the upcoming week. To give you any healing tips, techniques, practices, whatever's going to be relevant for the upcoming week. If you just give me a sec, I'll just seal off, tune in, call my guides in, and we'll get straight into it. Okay. All right, so it's funny because they're showing me, like, when you're on the train, the bus, or even a boat or something like that, and it's sort of wobbling around. What's the best way of keeping your center? What's the best way of keeping yourself in a stable position? Is that to stand there and be rigid and really rigidly sort of try and keep control of where you are in your area? And the thing is, it's not, because when you're rigid like that, you end up sort of wobbling, you fall over, you've got no flow, you've got no groove, and you're not allowing that rhythm to come through. When you've got sea legs, or like train or bus legs, it makes it a lot easier. When they're a bit softer, when your body's a little bit softer, you're a bit more supple, and you're sort of flowing with the bumps and flowing with the grooves and that sort of thing. And that's really what's been going on, they're saying, for the last few months, and will continue on for a few months into the future. Actually, I'm actually getting them through until about August or so. And the reason why this is coming in is because the information and what's actually occurred with, they're saying, humankind through the COVID-19 sort of pandemic that occurred, is that it has really jolted, the entire earth. It's really jolted everyone's psyche, everyone's emotional sort of makeup and sense. And it's also really, got people to really step back and to put the brakes on and to sort of review what's going on. And, even though I know in Australia, even though I don't watch the news, I hear from other people, from friends, that the restrictions are being eased and that sort of thing, is that, the kind of, like, they're telling me about the earthquake I talked about last week, the repercussions of this are going to flow on for quite a while. And as, this sort of normality, if you want to call it, comes back into play, comes back into groove within your life, that it's not going to be the way it was. And it's that thing about, don't try to put, a square peg into a round hole. And it's that thing in which it's not going to be the way it was before. And even if it is the way it was before, it's going to be slightly different. And the reason for that is because the consciousness of humanity on the planet has actually changed and it's shifted. And I did say the consciousness of humanity because, we can break it down to cities and individuals and this sort of thing. But they're saying, look, right across the board, this is like humanity, things have shifted within people. And when you've had such an incredible sort of consciousness shift within people, doesn't matter where you actually are or if you think it's affected you or not, it actually does energetically. And it's that thing of going back to the, the sea legs or the bus legs, whatever it is that thing where, when things appear that are a little bit different, that are a little bit sort of not the way you left them, and they are a little bit changed, it's that thing about, don't try to be rigid about it. This is the way it worked last time, this is the way it's worked again. It's not going to work, okay? And it's that thing about when you're able to sort of flow with things, and they're saying this isn't even about fixing anything, really. This is about just sort of flowing with the groove of things, and this means it's right across the board, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It's also throughout all areas of your life, not just in your work or your personal relationships. This is right across the board. And it's really about just having a bit of awareness around what feels good, what works, what's uplifting, and what's not. And it's that thing where don't get caught into the mistake of going, this doesn't feel good, but the reason it doesn't feel good is because it's different. The thing is, if you crossed your arms this way every day for 6 months, and then all of a sudden you cross them the other way, it'd feel pretty weird. It'd feel uncomfortable. It'd feel a little bit different, you know. So it's that thing about don't mistake not feeling quite right or things not sort of fitting right for, you know, it is not right. So this is why they're saying it's more about the flow at the moment and the groove, and about allowing yourself to kind of, you know, shift and change and not be too rigid around your thinking, around your outlook, around, you know, what things were and how they're going to be and how they're going to work. Because actually, to be honest, nothing is going to be the same again. You know, even if it's in the most minute way or in the largest way, it's never going to be the same again. And, you know, this has been a change in which it hasn't actually happened before on a global scale like this. So, you know, just remember and realize that if you are feeling a little bit strange at the moment, that it's pretty normal. It's a pretty normal reason why you're feeling a bit strange, because there's a lot of quite a lot of uncertainty, quite a lot of changes going on, and even if it's not for you directly, which they're saying it's actually affected everyone, it's around you, and that is going to affect you. So, you know, flow with it, groove with it as best you can. Okay, so for Monday, what's on Monday? All right, so this is about, you know, and I've spoken about this before, but it was quite a long time ago. You know, what's the word for the day? And it's that thing about, you know, pick a word that you can choose either for the day, for the week, or for a few days. And it's that thing about, you know, it could be integrity, it could be happiness, it could be laughter, it could be flowing with things, you know, flow, because it is a word, not a sentence. But it's that thing about, you know, through Monday, and they're saying through the week as well, just remind yourself of that thing and just sort of ask yourself, am I doing this or am I not doing this? And then if I'm not doing this, all right, how can I bring a little bit more of that sort of emphasis or that energy into this moment? And they're saying, really, you can do this with anything, even if you're, you know, sweeping the floor, you're washing dishes, whatever it is, and your word for the day is happy. You can actually make, you know, mundane things, or if you do cleaning for a living, you can actually make things happy, and you can actually bring that happy energy into it. So it doesn't matter what job you've got. I just said cleaning because I was talking about the dishes and the floor, but it's that thing about, you know, it doesn't matter what job you've got, or if you haven't got a job, if you stay at home, or you're looking for work, it's that thing where you can always bring a bit of that action in, that emphasis, that energy. Okay, so for Tuesday, don't make it, they said don't make it hard for yourself. And what they're talking about here is all the time it's just simplifying, man. Just bring it back, you know, what am I doing at this moment? What needs to be done? You know, when there's drama going around, am I going to choose to you know, put myself in this drama, or am I just going to kick back and go, okay, what do I need to do? What are the priorities right at the moment? To, you know, what are my base elements? What are my priorities? What do I actually need to do to put myself into a good place, or what actually just needs to be done? Okay, so Wednesday, what's on Wednesday? So Wednesday's about laughter, actually. It's about laughter, and it's about expression. So it's that thing that I actually got told this recently in one of my meditations from one of my guides, he said to me, he said, watch the way you think, man. Watch the way you think. Watch the way that you think about yourself and the observations that you have around you as well. And it's that thing where when I started doing this, I realized that, you know, there wasn't as many thoughts or as many observations of, you know, of full, you know, abundance and happiness and joy and how incredibly awesome I am, you know, compared to the things where it was like, oh, that seems a bit difficult, or, oh, geez, yeah, I wonder how that's going to go. Oh, I'm not that good at that. So, you know, this is the thing about watching your thoughts and, you know, bringing in and just sort of bringing yourself back to that groove of going, okay, you know, I am good at this, I am doing well at the moment, I am doing the best I can at this moment. So Thursday. So they're talking about affirmations. So it's a little bit of a carry-on about the sort of Wednesday. So the affirmation could be something of the word that you've created for the week, or what you actually want to do, what your groove is. And it's that thing too that I hear this all the time. People go, I've done affirmations, they don't work. And it's, you know, what can happen is that people just repeat mindlessly the same thing over. Or the other thing is that they reach too far in front of them, you know. So instead of saying, you know, I like the person that I'm becoming, they say, I love myself unconditionally. And it's like, well, you know, that could be, I'm not saying it isn't, but that could be a little bit hard to achieve from the moment that you're at now. But what you can achieve is you can say, well, I actually like where I'm going at the moment, or I like the person that I'm becoming, or I like the person that I am. And it's about marrying that affirmation with the thought, the visual of whatever this looks like, whatever that looks like to you with that affirmation, and then marry the feeling with it. You know, so if you think about this, whenever there's been an event that's occurred in your life and you've had an experience where you've always remembered it, you know, it's stuck in your mind. Or with some people, they've actually tried to push it away from their minds because it's been quite traumatic. So when you think about this event, whether it's happy, sad, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's that thing that it's the emotion that sticks with you. It's the emotion you remember, you know, a lot of the time. And yes, a lot of the time the event comes with it, but the emotion's the big one. So that's the thing that's really painting the picture of that situation. You know, how you felt afterwards, this sort of stuff. So when you can bring this into an affirmation and you say, okay, well, you know, I'm doing an affirmation about happiness, feel as best you can what happy is to you. You know, feel happiness as much as you possibly can. And if you can't find a time in which you were really happy, make it up, man. Make it up. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And really, after doing this, you know, you only have to do it once or twice a day, or maybe a couple times a day, but just really mean it. Your body is going to start listening, whether it's a fantasy or not. And then energetically, it's going to kick in. Okay, so talking a lot about that. Okay, so what are we on to? Friday. Okay, so this is about graciousness. So it's that thing where, you know, how are you gracious to yourself and how are you gracious to other people? So what I mean by that is it could be, you know, elements of being of service. It could be of, you know, helping somebody out. It could be of being kind and being gentle and flowing with things and, you know, sort of not getting stuck down too much. So how are you achieving this? How are you doing this? Okay, so we're on the Saturday. What's on Saturday? So Saturday, yeah, give me a second here because I'm getting a few different things. Okay, all right. So they're saying, okay, what things you feel? What things do you feel are stopping you at the moment? What things do you feel are stopping you, whether emotionally, mentally, whatever it is? And they're saying, you know, start with a small thing, small things, you know, the big things can be a little bit difficult. So what things do you feel are stopping you, or what things that if you wanted to achieve that you feel like there's blocks in the way? So this is just a bit of a fantasy or something to just try out. Okay, so think about the block. Hey, if it's there, it's there. If you think about it, it's not like you're adding to it because if it's already there, you know, that sort of thing. So think about what the block is and then flip it on its head. Okay, what's the absolute opposite of this? What's the absolute opposite of whatever this block is? And what that's going to do is give you a little bit more scope in how you can, you know, start to tackle it or start to work with it, so you can start to break this down and actually move through the block. Or you're just going to sidestep it. They just showed me. Sometimes you don't have to think too much, you don't have to do too much. You just have to recognize it's there. Go, okay, what can I do? Actually, I'm going to walk around it and then keep walking. So, okay, so that's about Saturday. So Sunday, what's on Sunday? So Sunday, so this is, they said, let's make Sunday Be Kind to Yourself Day. So be kind to yourself, whatever that means to you. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, they're telling me that's it. So nice, short, quick one today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Always a lot of fun doing these videos. And yeah, if you, I love it when you like me, when you share me around, when you like my page, when you tell me that you've enjoyed the video, that sort of thing. Really cool stuff. If you would like a private appointment with me, all my links are below. So I do reading, psychic reading, medium, clairvoyant work. I do energetic healing, counseling, training, all kinds of things. So and quite a few more things I didn't mention. So give me a call, give me a text, give me an email, and we can have a chat about how we can improve your life together. Okay, beautiful. All right, well, have a good week, and I'll see you then. I'll see you next week.